Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. I'm here with Flint. Say hi to Flint. Flint, can you say hi?
Hey,
Um, we're going to be doing a commentary over the top eight match that I played against Remy. I had an audio issue that was completely unpreventable. There's nothing I could have done to prevent the audio from not coming in. So Uh, Flint and I are watching the replay. We can see my hand cam, and we're going to talk about the play from my perspective. So, a quick note about the audio or the video. I was trying something new, and Remy's screen is going to like change size throughout the video, and I'm going to adjust it. So, bear with me. I'm going to try and do as much as I can. When I did do the recording, there's nothing I can do now, but sorry for that inconvenience.
you should be, Michael.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yes. So I am playing Beast Rock. It's basically the rock deck that is playing red for contested cliffs and has more creatures that maybe the average rock deck is a little more aggressive. And Remy is playing a mono blue control deck. I believe it's his own design that he had a lot of success with. So Flint, when you saw these matchups, what did you think of the decks and how it would play out?
It's a good question. I mean, I think you had the advantage, but Remy's a good player and he's got a good deck. So I think it could have been a lot closer than it actually was.
Yeah, so basically the game plan that I have was to resolve either a turn three, like Blastoderm, or maybe even a Ravenous Baloth after a Birds of Paradise, a Rampant Growth, or a Wall of Roots, or maybe on turn four after I play like a Duress or Cabal Therapy, if I want to play around Counter Magic to try and resolve one of those spells. So I was on the play. I started with the Wooded Foothills, and Remy just started with a tap land, so that gives me free reign to do whatever I want on turn two. I
Hmm.
have a Living Wish,
Living Wish, yep.
so there's not really anything I can really get that's punishing against Remy. I think Genesis or Dust Bowl is probably like the card that I'm looking for. Like Genesis is good against the mono blue control because his counter spells are like the thing that he wants to answer all my stuff, and Genesis is just going to provide like a long term value plan against those counter spells. And
Right.
Dust Bowl is another option of just trying to take out his lands. So it looks like I opt for the Dust Bowl. So a small screen from Remy. That's the first of many times that'll probably change. So he plays. If he plays an untapped land, I'm thinking about Counterspell or Mana Leak. If he taps out to play Standstill, then I have to consider what spell I want to play to break the standstill.
Hmm.
So he plays a trade routes. So
Pretty good against Dust Bowl, but he's tapped out for right now.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know if he is just thinking I want to play this now because I'm not really afraid of anything on three mana, or if that's saying I don't have any counter spells. But I feel like that's half of his deck. So
I think he's just like thinking I've got to get this down as soon as possible
sure,
because in the long run I know Mike has a Dust Bowl, but
okay,
then he plays a Dust Bowl. So I'm guessing he drew the Dust Bowl.
yeah,
But it's weird that he plays it because you can just play a land and destroy his Dust Bowl this turn. Although he can trade routes it back, so I guess that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, I think he's just willing to run the trade routes out to let the shields down for a turn so he can try to mitigate the damage that your Dust Bowl can do.
yeah. So I have to decide if I just want to run Blastoderm into counterspell or Mana Leak or any of his counterspells, or if I want to try and play around it.
You're gonna do Rampant Growth, right?
I think so. Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's what I would do here.
yeah. I mean, I think from the spot, I'm just waiting for a discard spell, Or, I mean, yeah, because if I get that Blastoderm countered, my hand doesn't really do anything, so.
Right. You're not going to play the Dust Bowl because you can't effectively activate it because he can bounce a land. So it's more just let's try to get ahead against a control deck and wait so I can set up my hand to be good at some point.
Yeah. So I get a mountain. I don't think that Contested Cliffs is really going to come into play against Remy, but I can't remember exactly the lands I have in my hand. But if you have double green, then you're pretty much able to cast most of your spells. Double green and a swamp. Yeah. So I have two swamps and two green mana.
Hmm.
So and I do have a Contested Cliffs in hand. So I was thinking, well, might as well get the mountain just in case.
Makes sense.
Plus, I'm thinking this game's going to go long, so I'm probably going to draw another green source if I really need to
Yeah,
play
and
two green cells in a turn.
and to be fair, your contested cliffs could be good at some point against the man lands, but
Hmm.
again, there's so many unknown variables at this point. He does have a Dust Bowl, you have a Dust Bowl. We'll kind of see what happens,
Yeah,
but it's not a dead card by any means.
sure. So I know Remy isn't going to like be able to kill me quickly, so it's more of me setting up something to pressure him to keep him off his game plan or have some form of inevitability. I think really
Absolutely.
the only real form of inevitability would be resolving a Living Wish and then getting Genesis. That's probably the hardest card because I don't think in his list, I don't think in his main deck he had any way to deal with like something in the graveyard. So
No, no, I don't think so.
him attacking with,
That's really aggressive.
yeah, and it because he does he play a land after this? He just says go. So
So I was just gonna say, I think he's thinking if you play your Dust Bowl to try to kill his Dust Bowl, he can still bounce it. But you're gonna play what, a Blastoderm here and blow him out, or you're gonna play the Naturalize then the Dust Bowl?
yeah, um, I'm very happy that I can resolve a Blastoderm from this position.
Yeah.
So I don't. I mean, should I? I'm trying to think if I should have played Contested Cliffs instead of Dust Bowl. Maybe, probably. Well, yeah. I mean, I think I would rather have
Yeah.
Dust Bowl dead, or I'd rather have Contested Cliffs destroyed by
Yeah,
his Dust
yeah.
Bowl.
I think it would have been better to play Contested
I mean,
Cliffs.
I mean, I don't think he's going to activate it right away either, because, but I still think it's probably better to play Contested Cliffs.
Yeah.
But I do like playing
Ooh.
Blastoderm over destroying the trade routes right away. So the neat little interaction with Remy's deck is he has a bunch of man lands, and with the trade routes he can block and then pick up any of those lands. I mean, it will cost him a land drop in the long run, but it's a good way to soak up some damage.
I think it's fair to point out too, this is something you mentioned in the podcast interview you did, that to some extent the Contested Cliffs and the Dust Bowl kind of screw you over because you don't have that third green mana. Because I think the best play there would have been to naturalize and then play the Blastoderm, but you can't do that because you're short on green mana.
Sure. I mean, I had the option of like using the Pernicious Deed. It doesn't do too much else in this matchup, so but
That's fair. So you've got a discard spell there to save to sort of clear the way for a spell later on.
yeah. So I think yeah, I don't think I play it now. Maybe
No.
just wait till I draw another threat and resolve it. Watch, I'll probably just play Duress and no. Okay, so I am saving the Duress.
Quicksand.
Quicksand. Not that good against Blastoderm, but
Not so much. Shroud is very powerful.
yeah.
I mean, this is interesting because you can't use the contested cliffs for your Blastoderm. I think that's probably what you two are talking about. I've
Yeah.
muted your audio so I can hear you better, but so he can freely attack with his man land if he wants to, but he probably doesn't want to lower his shields. It's
Well, I
probably
think
not worth it.
when he was asking, he was more thinking if I activated this Fairy Conclave, are you going to be able to contest a cliffs before I block?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think that's what the conversation was. So that
Oh, big boy.
Do I have 2 black mana? I do. So
You do.
perfect that I.
S- No, what's he doing? Oh, what?
So he's activating.
He's gonna block. Oh
Oh,
wow. Duress is gonna blow him out here unless he has his 2 counters.
well, even well, I think he also taps a mana and not the Fairy Conclave to pick it up, which was a mistake. Like also, I guess he had to use blue mana to activate the Fairy Conclave. But yeah, I think he should tap the Fairy Conclave because yeah, to return to his hand, and he doesn't, if I remember right. Yeah.
No, he's doing it.
Well, I'm saying he should tap the Fairy Conclave instead of tapping the Duskblade
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
then he can
absolutely.
represent Mana Leak. I
Yep,
mean, I'm gonna
yep.
duress him anyways, but I guess in this spot I don't even need to duress him, but
No, you don't really.
I mean
He's got 1 mana.
Chain of Vapor would be the only card that I would really want to duress, I guess, from the spot. Because that's from his deck. That's the only thing that's like really good against Spiritmonger once it's in play.
Sure.
So I do see a stifle
He
that
has the mana leak. Oh man, and he's got a chain of vapor.
yeah he has a stifle, which is something I take note of. If I'm
For the deed.
yeah if I'm planning on using a deed, I know that it's not gonna do anything. I'm pretty sure I just take the Chain of Vapor here because once I
Because you
have
want
the
to play a
yeah once I have
Spiritmonger.
the board
Yeah.
position that those cards aren't very good against it.
Yeah.
So here comes the 6/6.
Boom. The biggest, baddest beast of them all. The card we all gasped at when it was printed by Wizards
Yeah.
back in Apocalypse. What were you thinking?
Well, that was
Little did we know.
actually a card created by the community.
Yes, yeah, I remember.
So I don't remember creating it, but
Michael's just being modest.
I don't. I think it was
It
printed
was
before I started playing. I
it
think.
was 90-10 Michael community.
I
All
remember all
right.
the other ones, but don't remember that one.
It's so funny because I remember all of us were up in arms about how broken it was, like how powerful. Like how could you print a creature this powerful? This is stupid. And now there's been so much power creep in
Well,
creatures and Magic. It's just Spiritmonger's a joke.
I think also the ironic part is, I mean, I think the card at its time was very powerful, but it never did anything in standard, which is just funny because I don't know, you just would assume it's not. I mean, Black Green still have Pernicious Deed. I'm like, it's not like there weren't supporting cards, but
Not in standard. It did in extended, like
yeah,
PT Junk ran
yep,
it and things
yeah.
like that. But no, you're right. In standard, it wasn't huge. All right, so what's going on? He's tapping 4 for the Fact or Fiction.
He's just looking for a Chain of Vapor, I think, right here. I think that's something he
Yeah,
said in the commentary.
yeah. He's at 15. Yeah.
He's gonna take 11 unless he bounces a Spiritmonger.
So how do you separate these? Let's see. So the fact, what do you do? Fact or Fiction in one pile, Impulse in the other? How do you do it?
So I didn't want to give him Island and Impulse because he get cast both those in one turn. So
Hmm.
I think I give him Impulse, Fairy Conclave, and
Counterspell.
Counterspell against Island and Factor Fiction is how I split it.
Makes sense.
Uh, I guess
Uh,
um,
maybe not. Although even if he plays the Island and Impulses, he still can't do anything this turn.
yeah, but I just don't want him to. I guess this is on his turn. Okay. Uh, I guess maybe the thought was I didn't want him to Factor Fiction and have 2 mana then. I don't. But I gave him. I don't know. Yeah, I guess
It was during the combat step
yeah,
is what it looked like.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry viewers at home. We have the audio turned off so we can hear each other. Um, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he's clearly searching for a bounce spell, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you got a second Spiritmonger in your hand.
Oh
You
yeah.
dirty dog.
It's gonna get cast. That was the nice thing. Like, I did. It just seemed like I always had the opportunity to cast spells based on what Remy did. That like
Yeah.
he tapped his mana and I didn't have to worry about a counter spell after he played like a trade routes or something. And then like, I mean, the one time I did it at the Duress, and this time, I mean, he's under pressure, so he's got to do something. But
Yeah.
it's just nice that I'm able to resolve a Spiritmonger and not have to worry about any of his counter magic.
Yeah. he's boldly gone mono blue, so he doesn't have any sweepers.
Yeah.
So he's got to rely on spot removal.
And,
You snuck underneath the counter spells,
mhm.
so he's in trouble. He's probably gonna scoop here.
I think he does.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Well played.
So
It was a smart mulligan too. We didn't talk about that, but your opening hand had what, like 2 Cabal Therapies, and I think maybe like a Blastoderm, but no way to ramp. It just seemed like a slow hand.
okay.
So you didn't keep it. Like you didn't have the opportunity to sneak under counter spells. I think, which is why you mulliganed. I could be mistaken on that, but
Yeah, I
that
didn't
was
see
my
the opening
impression.
hand, so I don't. It could have been the mana didn't work out. Like if,
Oh, it could have been that too. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. So the second game is still not sideboarded. We're playing a best of five.
Was this quarterfinals?
This was the quarterfinals. Yes.
This is before you faced yours truly,
Yes.
and
Before.
I couldn't draw a sulfuric vortex to save my life.
Yeah. I think you
You
did.
dirty dog.
I think you did at least one of the games.
I think perhaps I did. The one game I won.
You won 2 games. We're giving spoilers away. This is probably not good.
I mean, it could have been 1, it could have been 2, it could have been 0. Stay tuned
Yeah.
and find out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab another beverage while we're watching this
This is the point where
very
you.
interesting
This is the point
shuffle
where
match.
we should be talking the most because it's the point where people don't have anything to watch on the video.
Don't fast forward just yet, folks.
We need to be the most entertaining right now.
What do you think your odds were coming into this match?
I don't know. I felt like they're pretty good. I mean, it's it's almost like Remy's deck is just like a blue-white deck, which I think I wanted to face, but he just has less removal. He doesn't have Wrath of Gods. He doesn't have Swords of Plowshares.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, I almost want to say it was like 65 or 70% in my favor, but maybe I'm being ambitious. But
Well, it's hard to say now in hindsight, right? Because we're very biased.
yeah,
But at the same point, I think you're right. You know, he doesn't have the luxury of Wrath of God or Swords to Plowshares, so it does make his position a lot tougher. All right, what are you working with here?
no, I can't cast any of the spells. So
Okay, that's a mulligan.
if
Okay,
I keep this, I think we know the result of this game.
it's gonna go very well. So, did you see when Remy, for the viewers at home, Remy posted his Masticore playmat on the Premodern page, and there were mixed reactions regarding the artwork. So, Michael, what's your take on the new Masticore artwork on his playmat, given the Premodern format?
I mean, I am always partial to any of the original printings. I mean, it has to be. I guess I shouldn't say that. There are times where I like the new printing, but I would
Hmm.
probably say it's like 5 to 10%. Like I think the new art has to be way better for me to like the new art more than the old art. And in this situation, I the I mean the new art's fine, but it's not the delta between the new art and the old art is not great enough for me to like the new art better. So, but I mean like I'm not gonna hate on anybody for choosing playing new border cards, liking new
Yes,
art. Like
of course, of course, of
so,
course.
I mean a Masticore is a Masticore. So, but I mean I'm partial to the old art. So
Nostalgia's got me on the old art, but I actually don't think the old art's that great.
no,
Actually like the new art better
okay.
for the monstrosity that Masticore is. So I'm kind of actually on board with it.
So
Surprisingly, I'm an old school guy, but that's my opinion.
did
Sorry,
you
go ahead.
know that Deep Analysis features Masticore in the
I
art?
did. I
And
did know that.
the
Yes.
flavor text is the specimen appears to be broken, which is a reference to literally the card Masticore saying that the card is broken.
I did not know that.
So
That's amazing.
okay, so I start with a Birds of Paradise and Remy plays uh, a standstill. I
That,
just break his standstill right away to play a Wall Roots.
as you should. And for you viewers at home, if you have to break it eventually and most of your stuff is sorcery speed, then just do it.
I mean,
If
also
you can,
it helps when I have a Cabal Therapy that I can play like you draw 3, and then I can take away your counter spells. But yeah, instant.
Absolutely, absolutely. But if you have instant speed removal, you should do it during their end step, so they have to discard some of the cards.
Yeah. So I named counterspell, and I got 1. So,
Yep,
oh, he's revealing the other cards.
as he should.
So I see a mana leak. Well, I was thinking that he was like going to his next turn. And I thought he like tapped out to play Powder Keg.
So do you care here? I mean, do you take the impulse?
No, no,
Do
I
you
it wasn't
take
it wasn't
the
a
mana
duress.
leak?
It was a. Oh, you're saying like to flashback?
Yeah, I don't think you do, right?
Well,
You,
I wouldn't do it on my turn because I need. I don't have any mana right now. Like I
yeah,
get.
you would wait, get your mana, then sack, right?
Yeah. Because
Oh,
if
and he,
I'm.
oh, wow, he played the land he drew. Oof.
Yeah.
Uh, I think if you're Remy in that situation, like, why play the factory? Like, why not play an island and make you guess what that last card in its hand is?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously you want factory down to like so it doesn't have
To,
summoning sickness, but I don't think
you're
that's
not,
gonna come into
but you're not
play.
gonna attack. You're not gonna attack with anything that you
Yeah.
play, and he's not certainly not gonna attack because he's on the back foot.
And I have an O5, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Remy's a great player, and at the same time, I think that that's probably a mistake.
Sure. So from this spot, I'm thinking whether I want to either just run out a 4 drop into counter magic, or if I want to float 4 mana, flashback Cabal Therapy, and then cast.
Hmm.
Because I could have sacrificed Birds of Paradise, named Mana Leak, either had it countered, um, and then resolved like a Blastoderm. Problem is like, I mean, maybe that's a better play. I just lose one of my mana sources. I think that's what I was worried about is not drawing land. And
Yeah, I actually like your play because you don't have a land. So if you do that and you don't draw land, you can't do it again the next turn. You know what
sure.
I mean? So I actually like the play that you made, and so now you play that. Now he's got an impulse and response,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, I think the way you played it was great. Does he have a fifth card in his hand, or is he just?
He might. It looks like he's holding something. So unless he's just holding the 4 cards, he's looking at impulse. So wait.
Oh, it's the
Oh.
card he drew. It's the card he drew for the turn after you cast Baloth.
So is
Okay,
he
so he
like
does
thinking
have.
about like forbidding? If he's tapping 3 mana, it's forbid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So he
He's
has to
not gonna buy
forbid.
it back.
So all my 4 drops are running into counter spells.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think that second turn, I almost wonder if you should play Wallerroot's Birds and then wait, and then the next turn flashback Cabal Therapy instead of running the Blastoderm into a potential counterspell.
So you're saying this last turn that I played?
Yeah, instead of playing the Blastoderm, maybe you drop a bird in a wall so you still have mana, and then the next turn you cast the Cabal
Yes,
Therapy.
but I so
You
what
probably
card?
wouldn't have named Forbid, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, what card are you naming? Are you naming a counter spell? Are you naming
I,
impulse?
you just named Counterspell.
But I guess I mean like so he had to draw the counter spell right there, and he still has impulse. I don't know. That doesn't seem that good to me.
Maybe not. So this
So
is good.
oh, I'm trying again.
Yeah, I mean this is great. It's a Blastoderm. He can't chain a Vaporit, so he's gonna Impulse, but he can't respond to it. He's not running 4 spikes, although he has in the past. But we know his list, or you know his list, so
Yeah.
that's a very safe play. Powder Keg is interesting. It's really not that good against your deck.
Well, the threats that I have are all like 4 or 5 mana.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. I mean, it takes time to get there, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna run more than one and into it.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's
It.
it's better against a lot of other decks. So
Oh yeah, no, it's good in his deck. I mean, and it's all he's got, right? He's mono blue, but it's just he's in a bad spot already, I think.
Yeah.
Even before the Blastoderm resolves.
I yeah. There's a wasteland. So he's able to,
Oof.
yeah, kind of what I've been struggling with this whole game is mana, and
Yep.
he's able to take it out of Llanowar Wastes.
And he takes your bird too, so
Yeah.
he's trying to attack your mana. So if you go back to my previous line of playing the bird and the wall, you'd be in a better spot.
Well, I mean,
If the Blastoderm resolves.
yeah, but then I'm also was like worried about him getting 2 cards for one with a powder keg, I think.
Mm.
So I can play a Wall of Roots and play a Birds of Paradise.
Yep. You want to attack
But
first, obviously.
Trade Routes is like not the card I wanted to see when he has
Factory.
Mistress Factory. Because, I mean, you losing your land drop against a normal creature might not be that good, but Blastoderm eventually is going to go away.
Well, you can naturalize it here, which is great once he goes to bounce it. Or
Well,
is returning it part of the activation cost?
either way,
I don't think it is.
he didn't just play it though, so he still has a mana. If if I like try to naturalize it, he could just return it again.
Wait, what?
So like if I naturalized it right there, he would
Yeah.
just tap the Mishra's Factory and return it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Yep.
that's why I didn't do that.
Yep, that's fair.
I mean, I can destroy the trade routes now, but I opt for a Wall of Roots and a Birds of Paradise.
Makes sense.
I mean, like this, it's defendable to just destroy the trade routes right there.
It is. You're pretty low in mana though, so if you draw like a Baloth or a Spiritmonger, I think you want to make sure that you don't have a dead card in your hand. You still have a lot of options, and even if he's activating and bouncing, it ties up his mana, so it buys you more time.
Yeah, but I feel like in this spot, time favors him.
Ah,
I don't know what I'm counting. I think I missed a Wall of Roots activation.
oh,
So I put another counter on it,
gotcha.
which is very relevant because I have limited
Yeah,
uses of it. So
yeah, for sure. Happens to the best of us. So are you gonna end a turn naturalize? Is that what you're thinking about?
no, I wouldn't use a Wall of Roots, especially because like I could just. I mean, I guess I lose 1 mana doing that, like waiting a turn, but I don't know. I can just do it on my turn. I'm probably not going to be casting a bunch of spells.
Hmm. Okay. So what's the play? You just attack?
Yeah,
See
but
what he
he still has
does?
the option to block and return the Mishra's Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could naturalize right now.
And we we don't know how many cards he has in his hand other than the Chain of Vapor, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't been keeping track.
Yeah, I haven't either. So what's the play here, Michael? Good.
I don't know. I don't think.
Smash.
I think naturalizing first is fine. Like naturalizing the trade routes. I think I was just didn't want him to like use his chain of vapor. Like right now, his chain of vapor isn't doing anything, and my thought was, oh,
Well, I actually like this because you make him spend the mana to activate it.
okay.
So you naturalize the trade routes
Oh, in
before
response to the
blocks.
activation. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. No, that's good.
Well, at least
Look at you.
I was
You had
thinking.
it figured out in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's no real downside. If that's your line, you're going to do it anyways, you might as well attack. So I'm casting a Living Wish. I think I just want to get a land here. Uh, or maybe I think I remember what happens. Um, I think I get Genesis because my thought is if I'm able to like draw lands and just if I cast Genesis, I don't really even care against his deck if it gets countered or not.
Hmm.
Then I just have inevitability. That's the thought. But the problem right now is my mana. I only have one activation on that one Roller Roots, and he has a Dust Bowl.
Do you know, does he have Tormod's Crypts in his board?
Um, I don't remember.
Okay.
Let me look up his deck list to see if he does. I think he does, but I wasn't like 100% sure if he was even going to bring him in. Because like I think the only card that really Cabal Therapy too, but
Yeah.
I mean it's not like a slam dunk to play Tormod Script against my deck.
No, no, not at all.
So he had three Tormod Script in his sideboard.
Okay. I wonder if he brought him in. Sweet impulses. You can kind of see his card
Yeah.
order.
Let's say I wasn't. I feel like my impulse is just to look away because I mean I don't even know if I was looking at the screen at the time, but like yeah. So I didn't even see the cards that he decided right now.
You were ogling over your Genesis in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet Centaur.
It's an incarnation. Thank you very much.
Well, it looks like a centaur, I'm just gonna say.
He's just telling me I have this chain of vapor. You know about it.
Yeah,
He just wants to hold his cards, which I can't blame
it's,
him.
it's fair. It gets annoying to keep them on the table. Sorry, Jared. Um,
I
Quicksand.
don't, it wasn't Jared. I think it was
Oh,
Prime.
Brian Malakos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So so he plays a
perfect.
disc, which I'm not excited about. given that
Why?
given that let's see, 80% of my mana is creatures. Uh, so I can get an Utabi Orangutan,
I think you absolutely have to here, right? Or
but
he just blows you out.
I know about the chain of vapor though. So he could just chain of vapor his disc. I mean that maybe I should have flashback. I think I messed up here. I think I should flashback
Cabal
Cabal
Therapy
Therapy
first.
first.
Yeah,
I think this
yeah, I
is
think you're
a
right.
mistake. I mean, I have to give up a mana source anyways to do it, but um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I don't know, like from the spot, like I don't know what I'm hoping to draw. I think I'm just hoping to draw a land to cast Genesis and then have it in the graveyard. But still, like that's a really slow plan because I need to draw
Yeah.
like land even before I can start activating Genesis. So here comes a disc.
Oof.
So I'll just draw this other Naturalize that's in my deck. That's fine. No worries. Oh, a Living Wish. I only have one orangutan. Also, I only have four mana now. Look at me, I get to attack with this monkey. Would you
You'll
use
show him.
should the monkey go down to quicksand? Oh, that's surprising. What is his life total? He's at 10.
He's a 10, yeah.
I was kind of joking. I wasn't expecting him to use that. I mean, he,
Monkeys are prone to quicksand.
I mean,
Although,
he's
are orangutans monkeys or are they apes?
um,
I think they're
I
apes.
would say apes,
Yeah.
but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a
There are a lot of apes out there who are very offended.
not an animal scientist. Did, did you ever? There was like a running joke for a while where like instead of saying like zoologist or whatever the proper term was, you just like say, "I'm not a something scientist. I'm not a number scientist." Instead of like a mathematician or something. That was the
I
joke. So
I must have missed that
yeah,
boat.
well, it's really funny, especially when I have to explain it. So
Those are the best jokes. Those
yeah,
are all my jokes.
yeah,
So you're wishing here. What are you getting?
a land.
Good call.
But like
Although
my
it's
lands
just
are
a
not
non-basic,
basic,
right?
so yeah,
Uh,
still a
you have
land.
22 lands main deck?
Um, it's either 22 or 23, I think. Let me check.
I thought I remembered it being 22, but
22.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a layer.
I mean, the other card was Dust Bowl, so
Fair enough.
I just not. I think I. So I'm not casting it. What am I hoping to draw that I can cut like a Wall of Roots that I could? Because otherwise I just play it and then it gets Dust Bowled. I don't know. I guess I'm just hoping to draw a 2 mana spell that I can play.
Ugh. Old school magic card there.
So
So
he,
should you have played the Genesis there?
I didn't have enough mana.
Gotcha. It's not looking good for you.
No, he gets a Turbo Mishra's Factory me. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should play the Bloodstained Mire there,
Yeah, I think you play
but
Bloodstained Mire.
I don't think it matters very much.
It's probably not going to. 8 lands against 1.
Seems like a fair fight.
Come on, layer land. Oof.
That quicksand.
Oh,
Apparently,
God.
Calderas are vulnerable to quicksand.
That's what I've heard.
So he's
Man, that is just
attacking for.
brutal. You just pick them up at this point.
Oh no, never concede.
That's fair.
He might forget to attack. I mean, I'll just do my thing quickly. He can do his thing quickly.
There were some games in the Spring Fling that I knew I was going to lose, and I was just like, no.
I don't like to concede. I don't know. It's just. I mean, the times that I'll concede is like if it will take too long from this spot, it's not going to take long for me to die. Like if I have a percentage chance to win, I'm going to play to it. I guess.
You just conceded.
I guess maybe when I'm like literally dead on board, maybe I will.
I think you need to concede that sometimes you concede.
Sure.
Haha!
There we go. I
You heard
gotta
it here first.
I gotta get the cards I Living Wished for out of my deck.
Yes. Very
Important.
important.
I'll discount
You know,
these
when
cards.
you Living Wish, have you thought about putting the cards like in your sideboard when you cast it, just so you kind of know, or is it easier for you to have them on your play mat so you see them and you're like, ooh,
Like
okay.
put the Living Wishes literally in my sideboard.
Yeah, just like have your stack of cards, your sideboard like on the viewing surface or like on the side, like where your mouse is,
Okay.
and then just set them over there.
I thought you meant like, yeah, that could work, but I don't know. I'm, I thought you meant like remove like the, like not have the Living Wishes visible and just kind of like tuck them in your sideboard. That seems kind of weird.
No, no, no. I mean, you're going back to the pre-modcast episode that came out today, remembering that the wishes are there.
Yeah.
Like if you have your sideboard on the periphery where it's like visible but face down, then you could just cast your wish and then just set it on top.
Yeah.
So you remember.
Yeah, you could do that. I don't know. I don't feel like I've had too many issues about remembering, but
It was just a thought I had
I'll say
today
that,
while
and I'll
I was
probably like
listening.
one of these games I'll just like forget to bring it back in. So in terms of sideboarding, uh, I don't think there's. I mean, there's not really any cards in my deck that are bad in the main.
No.
You could argue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would want to take out. I mean, I could. You could argue like if I know I'm going to be on a draw, taking out a land for something, but I'm not bringing in anything that exciting. So I don't know.
Did you bring in anything?
I don't. I looked at my sideboard. I don't. I didn't see anything. I mean, I could see like bringing in Gigapede. Because the thought process is like if I'm going to Living Wish, I'm probably going to get Genesis or Dust Bowl,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with drawing Gigapede.
So if you bring in Gigapede, what do you board out?
A Spirit. Well, no, Spiritmonger. Maybe Spiritmonger. But I don't know.
Huh.
It could be. I don't know. I don't remember.
Most of your cards are good against his deck.
Yeah, none of them are bad. So this hand looks great. There's no disruption, but it's got ramp and a 4 drop
Yep.
and a Pernicious Deed. So turn one birds, turn
Two wall.
or turn two Pernicious Deed, turn three.
Depending on what he does.
I guess
Yeah.
if I don't draw a land, I would probably play the wall. But if
But you're on the play,
yeah,
so
yeah. But I'm saying like if I wanted to guarantee a turn three Ravenous
Baloth.
Baloth, I would need to play the
Yeah.
Wall of Roots from this hand if I don't
Yeah.
draw mana. Look how steady my hand is. It's like, is the video frozen?
Okay. All right. Like a surgeon.
Some of the games that I record, the hand cam is there's like a definite delay between like what is shown. Doesn't seem that bad for this match, but so when I look at the because I usually when I'm looking at my hand, a lot of times I'll look at the recording to see how like how it's positioned to make sure my hand is okay. But by the time I look at it and my hand might be off centered, and then I'll correct it, and there's like a 3 second delay. So if you've ever noticed that in my videos, that's why. All
We
right.
were all very worried about it.
So
Yep, you play the wall and a bird.
wait. So
He bounced it with Chain of
oh,
Vapor. You
okay. Yeah,
bounced your
I
bird.
was too busy thinking about my
You're too
hand
busy
story.
trying to explain the
Yeah,
delay to viewers
yeah.
because you were very embarrassed.
But I was very excited from that spot for him to chain of vapor my birds because having wall of roots like the perfect way to just put down the birds of paradise again.
Oh,
So
this is great.
him playing Sansel, I mean it's not a Blastoderm, but I'm pretty happy for him to
Tap out.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you definitely just run the Baloth out, right?
Well, I mean, what changes like if I don't? I don't think really anything.
No.
So I don't have any treetop villagers or anything to really punish a standstill.
Oh, wow. You can see Remy's cards when he does that, can't you?
I didn't
Maybe you
notice in the
swap.
match, but my friend was he did that when he played you
Oh,
in the
did
spring
he?
play. Yeah,
I didn't realize that. We got to give
yeah,
Remy that feedback.
yeah. My friend mentioned that after the match.
Mm. It's so funny because we're on webcam, but we're mostly just kind of like looking at our cards and trying to figure out like what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I feel like almost when I play webcam games that I'm looking at my opponent a lot less. I mean, you're not able to see their face, so that's probably the reason why I would look at my opponent in real Magic. But yeah, there's a lot of times. I mean, I never noticed in that match or in this match that I could see cards when he drew it. 'Cause I don't think I'm ever really looking at his cards or his playmat at that point. So
Rampant Growth is one of those really interesting cards because most of the time you don't want to counter it, but you also have to concede that your opponent is about to get ahead on mana. So it like feels really bad, but you probably shouldn't counter it. I mean, it's situation dependent.
Yeah. It depends on like whether the deck you're playing against has more threats or not, or how big is that mana advantage, I guess. Like,
Exactly.
is it going to put him out of a mana leak range or whatnot?
So 4 mana for big bad
Well,
Masticore.
let me tell you, when you're holding Naturalize, you're not that upset about your opponent playing that, or a Masticore.
Oh
So,
yeah, I remember this from watching it live. This is brutal.
yeah.
Ugh.
I thought about making him discard a card and just trying to make him like tap it and regenerate it. But
No.
I mean, I thought for a little bit, but no.
Yeah.
I'll just
He's
attack with my
tapped
4/4.
out.
Yeah.
4 down. Run out the deed safely. Yeah, it's a pretty good position.
I still have contested cliffs available as well. My Baloth is ready to fight. I don't know what he would
He
play.
is. I mean, if he drops a man land to block your Baloth,
Sure.
it's very good. I mean, you're not gonna play it that turn, even though you have the mana open. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
From the spot, like if he doesn't have Chain of Vapor,
Oh,
I'm just sitting
wow,
pretty.
Blastoderm.
So one, two, I could if he bounces here. I have not played a land. Oh, I'm able to play. Am I able to play both in one turn? I have one,
So
two, three,
you
four,
just hold the
five, six, seven,
Blastoderm,
eight.
right?
No, if I have 8 mana, I can cast them both in one turn. So I'm like, I can play around one counter spell that way, but not two.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying like he didn't bounce. So like
Sure.
in this instance, you just hold the Blastoderm, or do you play it?
Well,
It looks like you're
so
thinking about playing it,
if I can play around Mana Leak, I think it's reasonable.
which you can.
Yeah, because all right, so I'll pay for Mana Leak. I mean, I think I'm fine with this. Him using two Mana
Double
Leaks.
mana like, yeah, okay.
Because to get out of the position, you either need. I mean, if you have two threats in one turn, the second one's gonna get countered by a Mana Leak for sure. I don't know. I think it's fine to just run it out there.
Oof.
Oh, it's okay to draw land when you have the board. Oh, so here's a Chain of Vapor. So the question here is, do you just run out this Ravenous Baloth?
I wish we knew how many cards he had.
I think my thought process is no, because I'm pretty sure the likelihood of him just drawing that Chain of Vapor right there is probably pretty low.
Pretty
So
low.
probably means he's waiting for a spot where he wanted a Chain of Vapor where he was thinking he could counter it. Look, I'm just gonna cast Ravenous Baloth when I'm telling myself not to. Nope. So I think I pass a turn. So maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Maybe Remy's really excited that I just didn't cast my spell, but I'm gonna wait for a discard spell or a second threat.
Yeah, you're not under any pressure. Uh,
I mean, I have a standstill, or I mean not a standstill, a deed, but it makes me
yeah,
get rid of my mana. But which is, I feel like at this point they're only good against Mana Leak or things to sack to Cabal Therapy, so it's not that big of a deal.
got 6 lands.
I think I have one or two in my hand. One. So, yep. I mean, if I was waiting before, I'm gonna wait now.
Yeah. It's so tough to wait against a blue deck.
Yeah. I mean, I. The nice thing is like I do have a lot of cards. Like all the
There it is.
yeah, and that's better than Duress. It's probably better than Duress because I get to cast it twice. And yeah, so I don't know. Three wonderful cards to Remy.
So what do you name? Counterspell?
Counterspell. I mean, especially after he played two mana leaks, and I don't really care about mana leak.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could make an argument about Forbid, but
No, I think it's counterspell. I don't think he's played a counterspell this match either, has he?
yeah, or this game, yeah.
Yeah, a game. He
He's
does have the forbid and a counterspell.
okay. But here I can flashback and name Forbid and then resolve a Ravenous Baloth.
Yes, sir. So what? You tap the bird for mana,
Um,
and then sack it, and then use the
I
bird
wasn't
for
sure if
the
a
bait.
bird is which is better, a bird or a Walrus. But I was thinking I might be able to block a Mishra's
Factory.
Factory.
Yeah.
I guess he can buy it back. Interesting. I forgot about that. So he's able to pitch two cards and have Forbid still in his hand. So I think I just wait again. I don't.
Yeah.
So he pitched one Stifle and he pitched a Fairy Conclave,
Yep.
which is pretty relevant.
You just
So,
you're thinking about going for it.
well, so if I know he has Forbid, the more cards he draws just means he'll be able to buy it back. So I think it's reasonable to say, okay, I'm just going to trade my Ravenous Baloth for your Forbid.
He's got that standstill though, which is annoying.
I mean, isn't Standstill better when you have a Forbid in your hand?
So you play it. He's got a counter. It's just does he buy it back or not is the issue.
Um, well, I don't think you
I
would
don't.
buy it. Well, because he would discard his hand
Yeah,
is
I think he's just gonna.
Standstill and Stifle.
Yeah,
I think he wants
yeah,
those cards.
yeah. He wants standstill for sure.
Well, and I guess he can't stifle. If I'm activating Deed to blow up a Standstill, he can't stifle that. So it's a little awkward there. But I mean, it's
He
illegal. He's a
can.
legal play
It's
at it,
just not
but
great.
it's gonna draw me three cards. So
Yeah.
here we go. So question is, do I want to do it now? I think my thought is if I draw Living Wish, maybe I want to. This is probably the conversation we talk about. Well, you're able to stifle that if you want.
Hmm.
All right, I'll draw a sweet card right here.
Ooh,
That's sweet. So I know
that
he has
is pretty sweet.
I know he's a stifle,
Stifle.
and there's I think one unknown. So I'm
Yeah, I think you go for it.
just keeping up black mana. Oh, I'm thinking he might play creature. I don't know.
There you go, just in case.
I want black mana to regenerate. I don't think it matters against this deck, but
Doesn't have it.
no.
Just digging.
I mean, from this spot, I think the only card that matters against a Resolved Spiritmonger is Chain of Vapor or the interaction with trade routes and manlands. But
Yep.
he doesn't even have a Fairy Conclave. I feel like
Or
that.
or or a disc. Like if he
Yeah.
plays a disc this turn.
Oh no, because the you can regenerate from the disc.
Oh, that's just destroy. It's not bury.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So. Oh, a trade routes. But he doesn't have any manlands, right? I
No.
I feel like that land when it looks tapped, it looks like a Fairy Conclave.
Tempest Island or whatever that is.
I'm not sure about that one. It makes sense, yeah.
I think it's Tempest, but I could be wrong.
I shouldn't complain about lands looking similar because like the forest and the swamp are like I can't even tell right now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
they look
think it's
similar.
swamp, forest, 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 swamp. After the contested cliffs is what I have. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, in comes the beast. Oh, he's going to two right away.
Yep.
So he needs like a Mistress Factory or a Chain of Vapor here. And I'm assuming I have Living Wish because I think I'm looking at my sideboard right now. I don't, I don't know if I showed my card that I drew, but do I have enough to. Do I have 8 mana? Can I get Laquatus' champion to finish him off? I think that's probably what
You
I'm thinking
can.
of is like,
You can. Yeah,
what
you
is
have the mana to do it.
what is the best play? Is it better to like just try and kill him right now, or is it better to get a Genesis or a Dust Bowl, or I don't. I think that's what I'm thinking about, or wait to have like two spells in one turn. Um, yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking about. It's like one of those things. Is like when you're in a commanding position, it probably doesn't matter what you do, but I always feel compelled to like try and think, all right, what's my optimal play from this position? So here's a Living Wish.
It's Flametongue Kavu, right?
It's a legal play. I'd be able to get a +1/+1 counter on my Spiritmonger after I fight my own Flametongue Kavu.
Makes sense.
A
Yeah, you can.
Genesis.
It's a creature an opponent controls, right?
Maybe you're right. Yeah. The you're talking about the contested cliffs?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. The Flametongue Kavu can target your own creatures, but
right.
so I'll stick a Genesis 'cause from that spot. I don't think you can do anything.
No swords to plowshares in this matchup, so
Yeah.
yep, that's pretty brutal. You have enough mana to go the distance, so Remy's in a real bad spot now.
All right, he'll impulse. I don't even. I mean, like, he needs two Chain of Vapors from the spot. Oh no, he could have a man land and a Chain of Vapor.
He's not running Morphling, right?
Um, I don't think so. Let me double check.
Okay. I mean, because that would be real strong. Oh, nope. I think he's gonna pack it up, right?
There's no Morphling.
Yeah, he's packing it up.
There's only one Masticore in the sideboard. That's his only creature in the 75.
Hmm.
So
I respect the mono blue.
the thing is, like, I guess
It's a
the thing you
hard
gain
deck to
is
play in this format.
the thing you gain is the man lands. I guess you could play Quicksand and more Dust Bowls, I guess. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the trade off is you're giving up like Swords of Plowshares or Decree of Justice or Wrath of God. Those cards are pretty good, and like all the white sideboard cards that are really powerful. So
Yeah,
I think in general most of the time I think the blue white deck is probably the way to go.
I think that's fair.
I'm trying to see what card is underneath my mouse. I think it's an unsleeved card. Oh, I think I know what
It
it
looks
is.
like a Nature's Lore.
I agree. I think it's a Nature's Lore.
Yeah, I think it's a Portal to Nature's Lore.
Yeah. What a great card.
Mm-hmm. It's a little taste of things to come.
Yes.
So shuffling up, you don't board anything here, right?
No. Like I said, I think Gigapede would be the only card that's pretty reasonable to bring in, but I don't know what I would take out. I mean, I could just bring in more threats. That's also another way to do it. Just try and run them out of counter spells. I don't know. But
No, I think Gigapede would be the only card that I might potentially board in, but again, like, what do you board out?
I think if I had to guess, I think one of the games I brought out a Spiritmonger, and I think I brought it back in because of the weight, which is probably wrong, but it's just like it felt good in all the games that I played the Spiritmonger. Because I don't know, I was just when I thought this match, I thought it'd be so much harder to resolve my spells, and there were so many opportunities where I was just able to cast a 5 mana spell and resolve it. So this is game 4. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, this is game 4.
Okay. So this hand has no acceleration. It's a
Ooh,
4 drop and a 5 drop, and no
yeah,
acceleration.
that's not great. You
I
got a
mean,
mulligan that.
so I
With
guess
5 lands too.
yeah, yeah. Well, if I were to keep the defense is that his deck isn't going to do anything fast, and any of the 10 cards of Birds of Paradise, Wall of Roots, and Rampant Growth are good draws, and any of the hand disruption spells are not very. Those are good too. Like I just wait till turn 5 and do it, but a mulligan is taken. So
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's reasonable, defendable to keep that hand, but it's very slow.
agreed. I mean, you could, but ugh. Well, I mean, what if you draw? What if you draw 3 lands? The probability is low, but
Then I can
I
play
mean,
around
you
Mana
just
Leak.
lose. You just lose.
Sure.
All right, what do we got here?
This looks a lot better.
That is much better.
So
Spiritmonger on the bottom.
I don't
Or
know.
do
I
you
think I put, if I remember, I think I put back Contested Cliffs,
contested cliffs?
which is a
Huh?
little risky, but I can get a land with Living Wish. All
Yeah.
right. And if I just draw mana, then I'm okay.
Hey, look at that.
So, so am I casting Living Wish right away?
Depends what Remy does, I guess. Does he play a standstill?
I think if he plays a standstill, I wait. I think is what I would do. Just wait until I can cast Cabal Therapy and then Spiritmonger on the same turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could cast Cabal Therapy and flash it back and then try and resolve a Spiritmonger.
There
Alright,
it is.
so let's see if I do what I say I should.
It's the Magic the Gathering online bug there.
Yeah,
You drew the card you put on the bottom.
yep, so I'm choosing not to break the standstill. So I have at least 2 land drops.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
alright,
wow. Another
more
one.
land.
Okay.
That's okay.
So you
I
just
mean,
play on pass the turn.
yep.
So you're looking to get a full grip and then to be able to disrupt Remy's hand
I just
and
want
wrap
6 mana where I can play and flashback Cabal Therapy in the same turn and then resolve a Spiritmonger. That's what I'm looking to
yeah.
do. Unless something changes, I don't know what he would do to change. I mean, like him. I think he misses a land drop against the 26 land deck. It's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good for
Yeah,
him.
and a Duress. Ooh,
So
man.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I might wait till I have 7 mana now, especially now because like I know he has no lands in hand. If I'm just hitting land drops, I will just keep passing and going as long as I'm able to play lands. Because he has to discard a card every turn if he's not playing a land. So, alright, he's got a land.
He's got a factory.
But if he's ever attacking with that factory, I'm happy. And then I only have to play
Yeah.
around 1 counterspell.
So you can play a forest and you have 7 mana. Yeah, okay. I think it's smart to pass there.
So
You want him to attack.
I only have 2 black mana from the spot, right? One from the swamp and one from the Birds of Paradise.
Yep.
So from this position, I'm not able to
You can't play all
Duress
three.
Cabal Therapy and play Spiritmonger. So
Oh, he missed another land drop.
discarded. I don't know what he discarded. I can't tell.
Is it a chain of vapor? I can't tell.
Could be an
It looks
impulse.
kind of like a chain of vapor.
I'm gonna say impulse. I think it's impulse, but I don't know.
Okay.
It could be either. I could see a chain of vapor being there. Maybe you're right. Alright, so here I drew another black source, so I am able to Duress, Cabal Therapy, and and cast Spiritmonger all in the
Yep.
same turn. So I'm gonna go for it.
And he may let this resolve because he has so many cards in his hand.
Yeah, this is about like if you have a bunch of counter spells, then like letting one Duress. The thing is though, I mean, not that he knows, but if I'm able to follow it up with Cabal Therapy, seeing his hand is very good. Alright.
Sorry, he does let it resolve.
So this is interesting because I see two mana leaks and two counter spells and a chain of vapor. So I'm not able to take Mistress Factory or Masticore. But so my thought process is here, if I take the chain of vapor, then all I need to do is um, get rid of, because he can't cast two counter spells in one turn, but he can cast two mana leaks.
So do you take a mana leak?
I still like taking Chain of Vapor. Because if you don't take, like, also taking one,
But if you take
oh,
a
I take,
mana leak,
I
can
take
you
Forbid.
Cabal? Ah, well, yeah, okay, I see.
Because if, I also, like, Cabal Therapy, so from this spot, if he, if I Cabal Therapy and he counter spells, then I know the coast is clear. If I cast Cabal Therapy, he says is okay. I could take, I could name Mana Leak, but then he has a counter spell. If I name counter spell, then he has two Mana Leaks. But I can flashback Cabal Therapy. So I think I would take counter spell if he lets me, and flash it back, and then if he counters, yeah, I don't know. I think I would pay for it and then take the other one, or take something else. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
thinking.
All right. You were very quiet, so wasn't sure if you like muted yourself and then forgot
I,
about it.
I'm just thinking like if you take one mana leak, then you play your Cabal Therapy. He can either mana leak or counterspell, but that's all he's got. So like the second Cabal Therapy gets through.
Yeah, sure. But does he still have Chain of Vapor in his hand then?
Yeah, he still has Chain of Vapor.
Well, then that's not very good. Because then he has a bunch of counter spells and still has a Chain of Vapor. I mean, I guess he's choked on blue mana, but so, but because I do know that he didn't have another blue mana. He had a Mistress Factory. But so he ends up meleeing and tapping his two blue mana. Or did he counterspell? He
He
counterspelled it?
counterspelled. He
Okay.
counterspelled.
So, but that just leaves the way clear that I know there's not a counterspell this turn. So down comes the Spiritmonger. I don't have black mana to regenerate it though. Alright. Here are my colorless lands, he says. So this is kind of cool because kind of cute that I have the contested cliffs and that he doesn't know about it. I don't know how much it would change his play, but I mean also like double blocking because he could double block and pump, make his guy 6/6, and then make mine a 5/4. But that's still not very good for him.
Right.
So So if I have a Living Wish, what am I looking to get? Probably just Genesis. I'm looking at my sideboard. I mean, it's either Genesis or Gigapede, and Genesis seems better than Gigapede. So we're still on Remy's turn. He's played a Mishra's Factory. I guess he's thinking about whether he wants to play a Masticore. I mean, other than that, we know what else was in his hand. A Trade Routes? Did we see a Trade Routes?
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
I don't either. So yeah. Um, yeah, from the spot, I'm just waiting for Remy to do whatever he wants, and I'll happily attack with my Spiritmonger after I play a Contested Cliffs. Oh, look at that. I played the one I drew. That's wrong.
So wrong.
Alright, in comes a 6/6. I mean, you can't activate Mishra's Factory here, so he'll take 6.
Yeah.
I didn't cast Living Wish there. I guess I know about Counterspell. There's still another Counterspell in his hand, I think.
Yeah, there is.
So I'm waiting for that. Because from this spot, he's got to do something. I mean, I guess he can draw more blue mana and then might be able to do 2 things in one turn, but I might as well wait till I draw 2 threats in one turn or have a Duress or a Cabal Therapy. And so he just discarded, right? Just discard a standstill.
Yep.
So not
No,
good from his
I think
spot.
it's smart to wait. Like you have the advantage on the board,
Yeah.
so you
And I
have to
know,
wait for
like,
him to
knowing his
react.
deck list, there's not that many things I get punished by. So he's at 10, it looks like. 8? 8. Still 2 hits from a Spiritmonger. Though he does have Mishra's Factory to block if it comes down to that, but given that he hasn't drawn like any lands, I don't think losing his land is very good. Alright, another factory. So this gives him an option to have 7 power on the board, but regeneration's pretty good against that. Also, I still have Contested Cliffs. So if I knew he drew a Mishra's Factory, I don't think the factory changes anything, so I have to assume that the last turn is going to go pretty much the same as this next coming one. Yeah, I guess he's thinking. I mean, he still has an option to. I mean, he could play a Masticore and has. I guess he does not want to play Masticore because I could just contest the cliffs, untap and contest the cliffs. Because he'd be able to regenerate it once, but. So in comes the Spiritmonger. So here I at least have Deed and Living Wish, so there's at least 2 threats to play in one turn.
D is so good in this situation.
I mean, I have a contested cliff, so it's not that much different.
Remy's really hurting here because he only has 2 blue mana.
Yep. Yeah, he's really choked.
Yeah. This is the opposite of was it the previous game or the one before?
Yeah, where he just had 6 islands or 6 or 8 islands in play or whatever it was.
Or the one where you had one layer land that was
Sure.
wastelanded.
Yeah. I don't know. I set myself up for that position. I think I could have done things differently, but so I'm attacking with Spiritmonger. He is activating 2 Mishra's Factories. So
Oh wow.
I will, if I were to activate Contested Cliffs right now, he could. I don't think there's even like a way for him to punish me as long as I have black mana up. But
Yep.
I'm going to be able to eat a Mishra's Factory with Contested Cliffs, or just kill both of them. Because if he, I guess he could give him 7 power, so I'm not able to kill both of them. Is there any way for me to? I guess if I Contested Cliffs with 4 blocks, that would be better. I think that's probably what I should have done. But I let him
I mean,
block. Well,
yeah,
in
or you
response
just
to him
play the
pumping, I
deed. You just play the deed post combat and destroy 2 of his lands too, right?
well, I can just respond to an activation of the pump
Sure.
with the Contested Cliffs, and then I get to kill both. Because it's a 2/2 and it's trying to become a 3/3. I'm going to deal 2 damage. It's going to get a counter. It's going to get 2 counters this turn. How sweet is that?
It's got to get those sweet Spiritmonger counters.
Well, half the people just don't even know that it exists because it just doesn't happen very often.
And going back to our earlier discussion about why we all had our jaws drop when we saw Spiritmonger was, it also regenerates and it gets counters. So he stifles the counter.
Yep. So
Or did
no, he stifles the
the contested
activation of
cliffs?
Contested Cliffs because I only have 1 run mana, so I'm not able to do it twice. So here I regenerate,
So then you just play the
kill
deed
one.
post combat
Yeah.
and kill both.
Um, I could Living Wish for Uktabi Orangutan. I
Oh, I guess one
could,
dies. So yeah.
yeah, I could get Dust Bowl. I don't know. I don't think I've played a land.
Dust Bowl would be really good
Yeah,
unless he's got one that he's sandbagged in his hand. But
yeah. But he doesn't have the time to spend that mana.
no, no, that's fair. That might be a really good wish target.
And I might have played a Contested Cliffs already because I think the turn before I drew a second one because I had said something about playing the one I just drew.
Mm,
So I might have already played Contested Cliffs, which might have been a mistake. Well, from this position, if I hadn't played Contested Cliffs, I'm still not able to play it with this sequence. I'm not able to play and activate Dust Bowl. But I mean, even doing it next turn is still good.
sure.
I'll take a damage, cast Deed, um, and I say it's worth it just to with
Get
the
the
Stone Rain. Stone Rain.
yeah.
And I'll play a Living Wish. What do I
Oof.
get here?
Genesis?
Probably. I feel like that's what I get all the time. You could get Laquatus' champion, Gigapede, Genesis, Dust Bowl. All right, Genesis. There's a lot of cards that are surfaceable from that position.
It's just so nice. He's not running swords, so you can get
Yeah.
Genesis pretty
Well, it's
easily.
like it's one card you're like fine if it gets countered and fine if it resolves.
Yeah, you just grind him out.
Yeah.
I think the writing is on the wall at this point, and Remy probably recognizes it.
Yeah. He probably knew a while ago when he just wasn't able to cast his spells.
Yeah.
Here's an impulse.
And just kind of the way he laid it in, he's like, ah, darn it.
Yeah, yeah. I want a chain of vapor, and
Yeah.
I mean, like that's still like an uphill battle for him because I would just be able to resolve it. I guess he could go down to 2 and then do it at the end of my turn, but he knows I have a Genesis, so I'm guessing. Yep, he's scooping up his cards.
There it is.
So
Game
victory
over.
goes to the Beast Direct. So it was pretty lucky for me for him to like play a standstill and then start missing land drops when he has 26 lands in his deck.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think you played it uh, really well for the most part. There's maybe one or two things that we talked about that you could have done differently, but for the most
Yeah.
part, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah, the interesting spots with this is when you want to cast your discard spells or when you want to cast your spells into open mana. If you're able to
Mm,
like play 2 spells in one turn, it's better to wait most of the time.
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about, but oh, I think I'm showing that I brought in a Spiritmonger, which is probably worse than. I mean, the difference between Spiritmonger and Gigapede is Gigapede can't be targeted, but it's much worse against a Mistress Factory. So I don't know. It's much worse against any of the manlands.
Yeah. But you can bring it back.
It's true.
It has its own Genesis built in, kind of.
Yeah, but every time I cast a Living Wish, I was just getting Genesis anyway. So
Yeah, fair enough. Well, cool, man.
yeah. So this is the quarterfinals. The other matches that we have, the audio was correctly recorded. So Flint and I will not be doing commentary on them, but
I
you'll
know you're
be.
all very sad to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Our,
assuming people like the commentary. It's
our,
probably
our, our dulcet tones
yes.
shall not be present.
Yeah. But yeah. So stay tuned for the other videos. This was the quarterfinals. I'll be moving on to the semis to play Flint.
Oh,
Yes.
exciting.
Yes. So. Uh, all right. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it if you subscribe, like, and comment. Yeah, help me out. So if you have any feedback, just let me know in the comments, and we'll try and make adjustments. I have still a lot of content that I need to upload from past tournaments, but stay tuned for the rest of this March monthly open. And thank you, Flint, for joining me on the commentary.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks
All
for
right.
watching, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Bye.